Most photographers think marketing is some magical thing where you post on social media or, run some ads and clients just appear and book you. So they're posting constantly, waiting for the phone to ring. Here's the problem with that approach. Most of the people who are searching for photographers online, they're often just looking for the cheapest option. If you're new to my channel, my name's Sarah Petty, and I've spent nearly 3 decades teaching photographers how to build profit portrait photography, print-based businesses. One of the first things I teach my students is this: to actively make connections with the right fit people. So you compete on value, not price, which means you don't have to wait for the phone to ring. Today, I'm going to show you 2 simple frameworks, and you're probably going to want to write these down, okay? First, you're going to learn how to identify who your ideal clients are. And then second, how to start conversations with them without being salesy or weird about it. The first step to getting clients is identifying who needs you. Here's what I've discovered. If there's not a reason for people to want photography in their life, there's not going to be a sale. Here's the thing. People aren't always aware that they need these beautiful professional portraits to create artwork for their walls. So we have to help them see this. That's where this open framework I created comes in. Here's what open stands for: opportunities, problems, experiences, and needs. Let me break each one down with real examples. First is opportunities. We are looking for opportunities in our clients' lives. These are moments happening right now in their life that they may miss if we don't point it out that this is a great time to create artwork from your walls. Your neighbor just mentioned that their 4 kids are coming home from college for the upcoming holiday, and they haven't all been together in 8 years. That's an opportunity that they may not even see until it's gone. Or someone just got a new puppy, or a friend's daughter just made the traveling dance team. Those are opportunities for us to tell our clients, oh my gosh, this would be a great time for a portrait session and some beautiful wall artwork. Second thing is the P. We're looking for problems. Now, when I say problems, I don't mean literally like a new baby is a problem. The problem is that parents have a new baby and they have a beautiful nursery, but their nursery walls are bare and they don't have artwork yet. Or maybe someone has an aging pet and they don't realize they don't have any beautiful photos of their dog until that dog's gone. That's a problem. Not one that they necessarily know they need yet, but you can see the problem that they haven't identified. Third is experiences. And listen, everybody needs an experience with their family. That's why they go out to a long, expensive dinner, because of the experience, or why they go to Disney, or why they take a vacation. So this is about creating moments worth documenting, and it doesn't have to be the traditional posed session. What if a family baked cookies together in their kitchen and you created an album from this, or flew kites in the park? These experiences become the artwork that tells their family story. And it's our job to be looking for that. And then the N is needs. Sometimes the need is obvious. Maybe they have aging grandparents and we just have a granddaughter that was born and we want to do 4 generations of the women in the family. Maybe their kids are just struggling in school and they need a session to make them feel good about themselves. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, some of these things can fit into different categories, but it's our job as the photographer to be identifying the open opportunities in our clients' lives. Now, here's how this actually works in your business. Instead of going out there and madly posting on social media, mini sessions available and hoping people will book you, you are paying attention. You're looking for these open moments in your community. Why does this matter so much? And I really want you to hear this, because when you identify the opportunity before someone even thinks about hiring a photographer, you're no longer competing on price. You're showing up at the exact right moment with exactly what they need that they didn't even realize that they needed it. And listen, one right fit client at $2,000 who comes back at key times for the rest of their life and then refers you to 2 other families, that is so much more valuable than all of these people searching for the cheapest photographer, and so much easier for you than posting 10 times a day on social media and hoping to get cheap mini session clients. By the way, if you're finding this helpful, make sure to subscribe to my weekly free newsletter where I share even more strategies like these, and it's coming right into your inbox. So go click on the link in the description below, my friend. Okay, so now you've done step one and you've identified someone who might need you. Now what? Because this is where most photographers freeze up. They don't know how to reach out. They don't want to seem pushy. They don't want to be salesy. They're afraid of being that person who's always selling something to someone. But here's what I want you to understand. When you're having these conversations, you're committed to sharing the idea, but you're not attached to the outcome. If they want to do it themselves, that's fine. This is literally a light conversation to find out if they like the idea and if they're interested in working with you. That's where my test framework comes in, and it keeps this conversation simple and natural. The T is first, we're going to touch on the opportunity, the problem, the potential experience, or the need. Then we're going to E, get into the emotion. S, we're going to offer a solution. And T, we're going to take their temperature and see if they even like the idea. Let me show you how this sounds in a real conversation. And the reason this works is because they're not invested in having gone through the whole experience and they're upset about price. Like, we can easily have this conversation up front and it doesn't have to be salesy, and it's fine if they say no. All right, so let's say you're at a coffee shop and you hear someone mention that they got a new puppy. T, we're going to touch on that opportunity, right? You can turn to them and say, oh my gosh, I couldn't help it over here. Congratulations on your new puppy. What kind of puppy did you get? Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And you have this whole conversation, like we're identifying an opportunity here. Then we get into the emotion about it, right? Because they're going to light up when they tell you about this puppy. And they're going to say, oh, my daughter wrote a 5-page paper to persuade us to get this puppy. And my kids love this puppy. This is going to be the only pet they ever have, right? And you're connecting with that emotion and you're telling them that puppy, you can tell by those big baby puppy paws being this big, like that little bitty puppy isn't going to be little very long. That is going to be a big dog really soon. And we can giggle and talk about it. Then we go to S, the solution. Okay. And just naturally in conversation, I bring up a story about what my clients have done that they probably aren't even thinking about. I might say, actually, I'm a photographer, and that's what a lot of my clients do. When they have a new puppy, we work together to create a piece of artwork for their wall that they're going to look at for the rest of their lives. And the best time to do that is when the little puppy is so small and snuggly. And then I say, have you guys thought about doing that? I'm not saying that they should necessarily do it with me. I said I was a photographer and that I do this. They can draw the conclusion, right? But it's sort of like, have you ever done that? Which is how I take the temperature. This is the key. I'm not asking for the sale. I'm just gauging that interest. Like, have you guys thought about doing that while he's still a puppy? Making sure you get him photographed. And they might say, oh my gosh, we never thought about that. Do you do that? Tell me how you work. Or they might say something like, oh my gosh, we just got a really nice new camera. Let's go home and do that, right? We're committed, but not attached. I just saved the world because these kids are going to have a portrait with that puppy. I'm not attached that it's with me, because if I am, that's when I get salesy. You haven't invested much time or energy, so move on with your day. The reason this framework works is because you're not attached to whether they hire you or not. You're literally just being helpful. You're just having a conversation. And here's what's beautiful about this. These conversations literally happen everywhere. At your kid's soccer game, at a charity event, at the hair salon. You're not cold calling strangers or sending desperate DMs on Instagram. You're simply being present in your community, and you're starting light, helpful conversations with people who you've identified definitely need what you offer. Whether they use you or not, that's fine. And here's what you'll find is that some people will use you. Let me give you the math of why this strategy works better than putting desperate posts on Instagram. If you're building a boutique portrait photography business where clients invest $2,000 or more, you only need 50 clients a year to make $100,000. You can do that part-time and keep your day job. And if you have a day job, it's why you need a higher average, because you only have so much time. 50 clients. You don't need to go viral, my friend. You don't need thousands of followers. You don't need to post 5 times a day. What you need are strategic relationships with a few key people. One partnership with a dance studio could introduce you to 10 new clients. One conversation at a charity event could lead to 5 referrals. One connection with a pet groomer could fill your calendar for months. And my students who learn to do this, they're booking clients who come back for life, who refer their friends, who become raving fans. These frameworks work for any type of photographer, but they're especially powerful if you want to build a better business, which I think is a boutique portrait photography business, where you're attracting better clients who come in and invest at higher levels. They're buying wall portraits instead of digital files. Listen, this is overwhelming and I'm missing so many pieces, and you would like help implementing all of the frameworks and having a complete system for attracting the right clients consistently. Book a free call with my team. We'll talk you through where you are, do a little analysis, and give you a path for how to get where you want to go. The link to book a call is in the description below, and I'll see you soon.